I am taking the mulch off the top of this container. As soon as I finish taking off as much mulch as I can, I'm going to dump this container in my teal bucket and refresh the soil with some bulb tone and begin to plant my spring bulbs. This pot is rather heavy, and I can already tell that this soil is very wet. Just like I thought, this soil was sopping wet. I've placed a few layers of soil on the bottom of the container, and now I'm going to add some bulb tone. The first bulbs I'm going to add are some giant mixed tulips that I received as a gift. What you see me doing here is checking the bulb to make sure that I'm planting the flat part of it on the soil, because that's where the roots are going to come out. Once I add a few more layers of soil, I'm going to add some more bulb tone, and then I'm going to add another set of different types of bulbs. Now this soil I've been putting worm castings in, so it is like the other pots in my garden, full of worms. Next, I'll be adding some paper whites that I picked up about a month or so ago. This is the bottom of the bulb, and this is the top. The bottom is where the roots are going to come out, and the top is where the leaves and the flower will emerge. Now I'm going to loosen up this soil and put the rest of it in this container. I'm going to plant an actual flower on top, as well as add some flower seeds so that I can have some continual growth in this pot from the fall, the winter, the spring, and hopefully the summertime. And in just a second, I'm going to show you guys, look at that right here. Did you guys see it? Worms. My pots are teeming with worms since I've been using my very own vermicompost. I'm so excited. Hopefully this coming year, my pots will benefit from all this beautiful worm castings that these worms are making. It's that time of the year where I top my pots with compost, with wood chip, and of course with leaves. I want to make sure that going forward, my pots, all of my containers, the soil is healthy and rich, and I don't have to add a whole bunch of different fertilizers in order to get the max benefit from the plants that I end up potting up in each and every container. I place this wire over my pots because in the springtime, I generally have issues with squirrels. Now, I already have a drip line attached to this. I'm going to have to readjust it because this soil was really wet, and that's because of this drip. I do not want this soil to stay wet because if it does, it will rot my bulbs, and that is not the result that I want. I've already potted up this container here as well as this container here. I have this container, which you'll see right here, I need to pot up, and I have one more off to the left. I'm going to repeat the process in this container as well, but in this container, there was a couple of bulbs from last year. They were some Gladiolus and some Alliums. So I'm going to replace the Gladiolus and Alliums in this container. I'm going to pot up the tulips and also maybe some paper whites. These are the bulbs that were in the pot this year that I'm replanting. So maybe next year I'll have another beautiful show. These are the last few giant tulips that I have. So they're going in the pot. Another layer of soil is going to be added, more bulb tone is going to be added, and of course, more bulbs. You guessed it, paper whites are next. It's about that time that I put the mulch back on top of the pot. I do, of course, change my mind. In the thumbnail, you see what that looks like. I ended up taking the mulch back off, planting some flowers and some flower seeds, and then adding the mulch back. once the trees drops all the leaves, I'll be able to add more leaves to the top of all of my containers for food for the worms as well as for mulch. I hope you all enjoyed this content as I brought it to you today. I enjoyed bringing it to you. Until next time, happy gardening to you all.